What is up, everyone? It's the one and only Brotherhood Healing, and today I am wanting to speak on a movie that I just watched. And the movie in particular it's a fairly recent movie that's just come out. It's called The Substance. And in this movie, there is multiple things that I seen going on, but I've chalked it down to it being aspects of this one singular thing. And in me watching the movie with the amount of knowledge and awareness that I have now, I can definitely see what the movie is speaking on. And I think there's like certain levels to it. I can definitely see the contrast of if I was to watch the movie before I had this knowledge, awareness, awakening, whatever you want to call it. And I can see the aspects now that I do have this knowledge. So, like I said, if I didn't have the knowledge of this movie, I would say the movie The Substance was just about a movie about a person being greedy, how uh how fame and popularity just makes you an evil person, this, that, and the third. And I would have been like, they need Jesus. And like I said, not saying that you still don't need Jesus or any spiritual figure in your life. But like I said, in this movie, it's more so talking about something different, at least what I've noticed in my perspective. So what I would say this movie is about is the negative or the inverse of the divine feminine. And so with the divine feminine, it's essentially composed of three different aspects. You have the mother, the maiden, and the crone. And these are all the three feminine aspects. Like I said, the mother is the nurturing aspect of the divine feminine. The maiden is the freedom or the independence of the divine feminine. Then you have the crone, which is the wisdom of the divine feminine. And like I said, with the divine feminine, it's just the aspect that exists within everyone, but it's a lot more prominent in women. So, like I said, the movie was about the inverse of that. So what I just listed off, the mother, the maiden, the crone, that is the divine feminine when everything is in good balance. Someone is able to be nurturing, independent, and wise. Now, with all of those aspects, there comes an inverse of it. But like I said, we'll get into that a little bit later. So, like I said, with the three energies and such, it's nothing more than energies. And the mother, the maiden, the crone, these energies can express themselves in many different stages of life. Like you said, the mother, the maiden, the crone, it's not based upon what you see in the physical. Because like I said, someone can still be a mother but still act in a maiden energy, because these are nothing more than thought forms. So, like I said, a woman can be a mother, she can bear children, but still think like a maiden. Or you could have a crone, which is usually the older aspect of a woman, but she's actually a maiden, which is the younger form. It sounds a little bit complicated. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but like I said, uh, these are nothing more than thought forms, and they exist in different stages. Like I said, someone could be a crone but be young as hell. Like they just have that much wisdom. They came into this life with a lot of wisdom. And even just with the family that they were born into, they were able to be provided with a lot of wisdom. So, like I said, these energies are nothing more than thought forms. And it's just to help gauge the psychology of the divine feminine, see if it's balanced or unbalanced. And now that's what we're getting ready to get into. So, like I said, with these archetypes, there is a inverse or the negative aspects of them or the unbalanced form of them. And with the unbalanced form of them, I've chalked it up to three things: the destroyer, the deviant, and the withered. So the destroyer is the negative aspects of the mother archetype. The deviant is the negative aspects of the maiden energy. And withered is the negative aspects of the crone. And I want to list off what it is in the movie, but I don't want to give away a lot of the movie because I recommend everyone go and watch the movie. But an example that I will use is a character from American Horror Story, and it's going to be Fiona Good. I feel as though she is a great representation of all three of these energies because honestly, her character is a perfect example of the divine feminine in its negative aspects. Once I'm listing these off, I recommend once you watch the movie to definitely look out for this because, like I said, it's going to be apparent in the movie The Substance. So, like I said, in order for me to explain the movie The Substance, I'm going to give you the archetypes from another TV show or a character from a TV show. And like I said, these will be the same aspects that you see in the movie. So, first off, you have the destroyer archetype, which instead of it being nurturing, it symbolizes harm, abandonment, and the disintegration of life. And like I said, the way Fiona Good matches that destroyer aspect is because, well, for one, I don't know if y'all have seen the TV show, but like I said, I watched it, and with Fiona Good, she abandoned her own child dang near at birth. She even in the last episode, like when she was passing away, when Fiona Good was dying, she said whenever she looked at her daughter, which was Cordelia, she saw her youth fading away. She felt her power leaving her and going into her daughter. She just didn't think it would happen so quickly. So, like I said, she abandoned her daughter because her daughter was a representation of her youth leaving her body. She represented harm. I mean, it's a no-brainer. In the TV show American Horror Story, she was trying to kill anyone and everyone that stood in the way of her being the supreme or being the lasting supreme. And like I said, the disintegration of creation, I mean, she was trying to throw away the balance of the supreme system that was created to keep energy in balance. She was unbalanced. So she was trying to take that supreme energy and match it with her. But the thing is, that's an energy. The energy existed way before she has. So she was acting out of ignorance. Like I said, second, we have the deviant energy, like I said, which is the negative aspects of the maiden. So with the maiden energy, we are talking about that independent, innocent, and potential energy. Like with the deviant energy, it's representative of recklessness, deception, and aimlessness, which was apparent at the beginning season of, I believe it was season 3, episode 1. You could see it. Like I said, she was trying to figure out all these different forms of youth. And for what? She wasn't doing anything. She wasn't doing anything productive. She wasn't training up a new Supreme. She wasn't doing none of that. She was just living out life. She was trying to essentially continue to be young. She had that young mindset of her not aging. And like I said, she was talking with some doctor at the start of the season asking for a cure to immortality because she's been funding them and they just can't find it. And she got mad at the doctor for telling her that one day we are all supposed to die. We are not supposed to live forever. And like I said, in that, in her rage, she ended up killing the doctor and such because he was telling the truth. That's recklessness. And even then, when she killed him, she was trying to gain some of his youth. And in the show, she gained it for a little bit, but it it only lasted for a short period of time, literally in seconds, actually. It came into her, and then the youth left her body, like the wrinkles started coming back as soon as she looked in the mirror. So like I said, it was reckless of her to do it because ultimately, she still aged and passed away. The second is deception. Like she was trying to come back to the coven under the mask of her teaching the new Supremes, but she was only trying to figure out which one of them had the power so she can off them. So, like I said, only reason she came back was to figure out who was becoming the next Supreme so she can off them. And like I said, only imagine if her daughter was exhibiting the traits and such at an early time. Crazy. If only. And like I said, just aimlessness. Like I said, it was at the start of the season. She didn't have no real purpose for being young. She wasn't gonna teach anybody. She just wanted to stay young to do reckless shit for eternity. So yeah. And then last but not least, we have the withered energy, which is the opposite of the crone. Because see, the crone represents wisdom and experience. The withered energy represents stagnation, despair, and the refusal to grow and adapt. And you really see a lot of that when she's getting ready to pass away. When Fiona and her daughter Cordelia, when they were talking in that room and such, her mom, Cordelia's mom, Fiona was pretty much telling her how she could feel the power radiating off of her and that every part of her body hurts. And she gave her daughter a knife to offer and such. She didn't want to learn about anything. She didn't want to feel what she's been doing to others all this time. She wanted to stay ignorant to that. And her daughter Cordelia, she was like, no, you gonna feel the consequences of your actions. Like this was long overdue. So you're gonna feel it all the way until you move on into the next life or this passing, move on to the next realm. So she let her feel all the pain, all the hurt. She said Cordelia told her to let it all in and then just let it go. And as soon as she did that, she dang near just went away. Soul completely left her body. She could not handle that pain because she did not want to grow and adapt or help others grow and adapt. That's where that stagnation mindset came in. And like I said, you see a lot of these aspects in the movie, The Substance. Like I said, The Substance is a great representation of the dark feminine aspects that I listed. So I highly recommend that you watch that movie to gain an understanding of what the divine feminine looks like when it is not balanced. Like I said, and with the character, the main character in the movie The Substance, uh, she really lacked awareness of universal law. And like I said, there's 12 universal laws, but the laws that I'm speaking about in particular is law 11, which is the law of rhythm. You have law number 8, which is the law of compensation. Law number 4, the law of attraction, which everybody knows. And then law number 3, which is the law of correspondence. And why did she lack all of those spiritual concepts? It was because essentially it was not conducive to her survival. She did not need to learn all of these things. She was in a mindset of she was just going to be her best self forever, just like Fiona in that in the TV show American Horror Story. Fiona thought she was going to be the same way forever. So why do I need to learn shit, you know? Like I said, and I feel as though that is why we as human beings age. It's so that we learn how to love ourselves and learn to adapt to the new changes. Like I said, with Einstein's theory, like I said, equals MC squared, like there's no constant in this world. Everything is constantly changing. Not saying that it's anything new, it just takes a different form. Because like I said, it's all built upon the basics. But like I said, with the basics, it takes on new relationships, creates something new. It's a beautiful thing. Change is a beautiful thing. And we have to accept it at every stage, be it good, bad, has to be indifferent. So, like I said, her character never had to build a personality outside of her just essentially just being pretty and showing up on a camera. And all her needs were being met. And you can find out more about that through the psychological aspect of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you look at that chart, that pyramid, it tells you everything that a human prioritizes in order for it to, like I said, reach self-realization or actualization. It it wasn't until she was outside of her being just a pretty face that she was now having to do things that are unnatural in order to still feel some type of way, feel how she felt when she was younger. Like I said, it's a dangerous thing when the mind doesn't catch up with the body, or if the mind doesn't transcend the body. Like I said, you have to do one or two things. You have to make sure that your mind catches up with the body, or have your mind transcend the body. And like I said, not without her building up any self-awareness outside of validation, she was having to revert back to a time when she was loved and validated the most. And that's when the substance came in, because the substance was essentially telling her that you have to, if you're wanting to be that version of you that you once remember, this drug will make you feel it. And like I said, the substance is merely a representation of an unnatural means of feeling good. And that's just whether it be alcohol, drugs, lust, etc. Anything that distracts your mind from accepting where you are in this present moment, that is the substance. The substance is that. It is merely a distraction for you to not feel what you need to feel in this present time, present moment. Like I said, lots of celebrities, business owners, they have issues because they're constantly moving 24/7, not being able to undress or address and unpack their trauma or situations that build upon their trauma. Like I said, they're constantly moving. They're not taking time out of their day to sit in silence, self-reflect, and think about the things that they're doing. And so then they're just stuck trying to chase these feelings to feel good. Because all of a sudden, sometimes they may start crying out of nowhere and not wonder why. And then they'll just take some type of a drug and then try to feel good. But that can't be. You have to feel those emotions. Like I said, if you haven't dealt with your trauma, you're always going to wonder why you feel a certain way at random times. Like, I know many people, like I said, that own businesses. I know a lot of people that are constantly working and they start crying out of nowhere. And that's to get you to familiarize yourself with a situation. And they're just like, yeah, I just don't know why. I just started crying. And I'm just like, you know why, but your mind is trying to hide something and you're not taking the time to unpack it. And like I said, that's all right. I mean, sometimes you'll never have the answer right away, but just question it. Sit in silence and wait for an answer. Because 9 times out of 10, the subconscious mind already knows what it is. You just have to wait for the answer. Sometimes it's that answer is blocked by years and years of repressing. So just sometimes just sit in that silence when you feel it. Take a moment to reflect. If you have something going on at the time, just see if you can write it down, jot it down somewhere, and then address it whenever you have that free time, whenever you before you even going to sleep. Just ask yourself, like, allow me to experience why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. And then hopefully your subconscious mind can conjure up the memory that it has or a dream that can represent the memory. Like I said, I usually, whenever I have a dream, I'll wake up and I'll ask myself, why did I have that dream? And like I said, I'll usually go with the first answer that comes to me. And then I'll go from there, unpack it, and then let it come into the subconscious mind. And like I said, I'm I've reached this level of self-awareness to the point where I'm able to confidently address my subconscious mind and then accept the answer that it gives me. So that way, like I said, I'm not having to think about it or make myself angry or upset at a random time. Like I said, and whenever you do come across those answers, like, don't be afraid to sit in silence and question your thoughts. Question them till you can't question them anymore, and then do your research on it. And then that's when the real growth begins. So I think I'm going to end the video there. Like I said, if you like what I've been saying, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.